Tuesday was the first day of the hearings for whether Donald Trump has immunity from prosecution or not with the D.C. Appellate Court, and it immediately got off to a really horrible start for Donald Trump. And that is because his lawyer, John Sauer, did a terrible job in front of Judge Florence Pan. Here's what happened to just kick things off at that hearing on Tuesday morning. Judge Pan asked Trump lawyer Sauer, basically asked him point blank if he believed that an impeachment and conviction in the United States Senate would be necessary before prosecuting a president for ordering the military to murder an opponent. And Mr. Sauer answered in the affirmative. In other words, he said, oh yeah. So if the president weren't convicted in the Senate during an impeachment for ordering the military to murder his political opponent, then guess what? You can't prosecute him. In other words, John Sauer is telling us that if Donald Trump had told the military, go kill this person because I don't like them, because they criticized me in the media, they wrote a mean tweet about me, or they're running against me. If Trump had done that, you couldn't prosecute him, Sauer says, because he wasn't impeached for it, or at least convicted in the Senate. This is taking presidential immunity to the absolute most absurd extreme. But that is all Trump lawyers have. This was almost a gotcha question, by the way, by that judge, because there's no good answer to it. Even if he had said, oh yeah, you can prosecute him, the judge would be like, okay, so we can prosecute him for this too. But if the judge, by using that very extreme example, got Trump's lawyer to say, no, you can't prosecute him, then obviously you're looking at, okay, well, immunity is ridiculous then, and it shouldn't exist. Either way, the judge put Sauer in an impossible position, and Sauer performed just as poorly as you would expect. But here's the thing. Then later on in the day, I mean, like an hour later, really, the judge was once again talking to Sauer because Sauer admitted that, yeah, if they get convicted in the Senate, then you could have a criminal trial against them. You could actually prosecute them outside of politics. So the judge pointed out, like, hold up, dude. You're telling me that there are certain circumstances where immunity does not apply. Because you're arguing that he has absolute immunity no matter what, but then also at the same time that, yeah, under certain circumstances, immunity doesn't exist. So your big argument that absolute immunity does exist is negated by your own talking point that absolute immunity does not exist. So the judge is like, you're not making any sense, dude. To put this all in another way, to kind of wrap it up with a nice little bow on top, Trump's got no argument. His lawyer is floundering. He is not going to be given absolute immunity. His only hope, as Alina Habba pointed out earlier in the week, is that the judges that he put on the Supreme Court come and save his ass. Outside of that, he is screwed. Not necessarily because his lawyers are so bad, but because what they're trying to defend and argue is so bad that there's simply no argument that even a good lawyer would be able to make in favor of it. Ring of Fire is just a few subscribers short of hitting that 1 million subscriber milestone. So if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so and stay up to date with all of the latest from Ring of Fire.